Welcome back to another video here at Greg Dennis Reviews in proud association with Change Cars, South Africa's safest online platform where you can buy and sell cars in South Africa. Now today is a pretty cool one because we are in Audi's most powerful RS model they've made to date, the Audi RSQ8 Performance. Now RSQ, the B-roll. Now, as I said, this is Audi's most powerful RS model they've made to date because up front you've got a 4-litre twin turbocharged V8 engine putting out 471 kilowatts and 850 Newton meters of torque. This is the performance model, so it's coming with all of that additional power over the standard RSQ8, which is a lot. Now that's going to send this almost 2.3 ton sports performance SUV to 100 kilometers an hour in about 3.6 seconds. Yo, this thing is so rapid, and especially with the Quattro all-wheel drive, that power just goes down instantly, and the soundtrack that comes with this car, oh. Can't get enough of it. Now I know if you're a petrol head, you know exactly how I'm feeling when a car in manual sounds like this. It's so addictive. I just want to keep it in manual with the pedals all day. Oh, but I know that I know I'm going to suffer when it comes to the fuel, but we're not going to talk about that because this video, this RSQ8, we don't need to talk about fuel consumption. It's not a popular subject because you're buying this car, you don't really care about it. On a good drive, I could maybe average about 16. On a really fun drive, I can average around 28 liters per 100. So it doesn't actually matter. If you've got a car like this, you don't care about how much fuel you're putting in. And yes, this is a bonkers performance SUV. I mean, I would probably call it a super SUV, if I could, if there was a term for this category. But it can also be pretty dialed back and pretty enjoyable to drive to if you're not wanting to wring its neck all the time because you've got different drive modes through the dynamic select over here. So you can easily put the car into efficiency, comfort, normal or dynamic. But if you want to kind of do it at a moment's notice without having to go through this menu, you can set up your own way of how you want to drive this car with the RS button over here. And you've got two different RS modes, RS1 and RS2, and you can set them up. So for me, RS1 is just all-out performance, stiff suspension, loud exhaust, aggressive tune. Like that's how I want RS1. RS2 for me is going to be all of that, but the suspension in more of a comfort setting. So it sounds like a beast, but it doesn't feel like you're driving with a really stiff suspension, which sometimes isn't that fun. Sorry, back to automatic. So yeah, it's just nice to do that at a moment's notice. That being said, when you are driving this car, even in comfort mode or even in sport mode, it is still completely comfortable. This is a premium Audi and it feels like that too. Everywhere you touch in this car feels premium. Everywhere you touch feels luxurious. You've got these beautiful sports hugging seats in this car that are also really big. They're pretty bulky, but they're comfortable, they're supportive. You've got this really nice contrast red stitching throughout the seats and the entirety of the cabin. This cabin is also, it does look as sporty as what it can actually get because you've got matte carbon fiber on the trim kind of stacked everywhere, across the front of the dash, on the doors. Oof. I'll get distracted very quickly. So it's a really nice place to be here, and with all of that matte carbon that's been put inside, it just keeps reminding you that you're in this ultra sports super SUV from Audi which is so cool.
Carbon fiber, 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 carbon fiber.
What's this?
Wing, carbon fiber.
What about the bumper?
Carbon fiber, carbon fiber. Oh, carbon fiber. Oh, carbon fiber.
And that matte carbon actually carries through onto the exterior as well. So from the outside, you're gonna find this massive carbon fiber grille that's so in your face. It's the first thing you notice. I absolutely love it. And you've also got the carbon diffuser at the back. You've got the carbon side mirrors over here. This thing just screams performance. I love the way that this car has been designed. I've always loved the way that a Q8 looks. So if you've got a standard Q8 or if you're getting into an RSQ8, I just love a Q8 in general. And in the category of those coupe styled SUVs like the X6 and let's say the GLE Coupe and those sorts of things, this is definitely my favorite. And in this RS trim with the massive 23-inch wheels, the massive grille up front and all of that, it's the ultimate, right? Before you start going into the category of like Lamborghini Urus and Porsche Cayenne Turbo GT and all of those sorts of things, this is where it's at for me. But also speaking of that, this thing's going to cost you around million rand to get into an RSQ8 Performance. I'll put what the price of all the optional extras on this car is on screen for you to see, so that you can actually see what you would pay for a normal one versus what you'd pay if you were driving the one that I'm in right now, especially with all of this carbon fiber, Alcantara steering wheel, the seats and all of that. This thing is, it's a pretty penny. But dynamically, this drives like you would expect an Audi to drive. And not just that, but it drives like you would expect a performance Audi RS to drive. And as big as what this car is, as heavy as it is, it still feels so nimble and sporty. Wherever you put it, it just goes. It is so direct. And together with the sport suspension, when it is in its firmer setting, it's as direct as you could ever think. Oh, I can't get over the sound of this car. RS1, manual, drop a gear. Okay, behave. Pops and bangs. It's theatrical. It looks good. It's just so much. All the verbs you can think of to describe a car like this. Imagine I've just said all of them. And then also in today's day and age of digital screens and making everything as difficult to use as possible, this isn't quite there. It's not that difficult to use. Yes, there are screens everywhere, but I'm thankful that there's still a volume dial, so thank you Audi for that. And they have separated the climate control out from the main menu infotainment, which is great, although it's still digital. It's got like a haptic feedback to it, so you got to click this, like press hard on the screen, and it gives you that feedback like you've pressed the button. I'm not a massive fan of it. I would rather prefer just to hear the sound, like the click when you're clicking. If you're gonna give me a screen, that's okay. That's not the end of the world by any means, but if there was one thing I had to mention that I'm not a massive fan of in this car, and like the Audis that have this system, also like the S8, then that's gonna be the one thing that I don't really like about it. But other than that, this thing is really cool. Nice big digital display in front of the driver, which also changes the way that it looks if you're in the different drive modes. Then for the infotainment, it's also a nice size. It's not too small, it's not too big. You can see your 360 camera system, wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. The menu is very simple to use. It just comes up as this easy to use blocks, and you can kind of see what you want to do, whether it's media, the radio, car settings, all of that. It's very, very user-friendly to use the system inside here. Got a massive panoramic sunroof too, so letting all of that nice air into this cabin. Also a nice dark headliner, so it gives it that luxurious, ominous feeling inside here too. And then down the center, you're going to find your cup holders and armrest, as well as the gear selector here. Now this is linked to that 8-speed automatic transmission that puts all of this power to all 4 wheels through the Quattro system. And it's got a really, I would say a really intuitive and fancy center differential that's also going to pick up the grip levels and traction of this car, that you can then also, if you want to be quite sporty, it'll send up to 85 of that power just to the rear if you want to have a more of a rear biased feeling SUV. So yeah, man, it's sporty right down to its core. And even though this is a sports coupe SUV, the space in the back there is incredible. This is in my driving position. I'm 1.87 meters tall, and I've got heaps of legroom, and I can sit very comfortably back there. So for me, representing the tall people, guys, we'll be okay in the back there. And then looking at the rear in terms of the boot space, it's also a really nice big boot. Unfortunately, there is no spare wheel, because I think putting a Mari Biscuit space saver on this isn't really the thing. And also putting a full-size 23-inch wheel in the back there, it probably also isn't the right thing to be doing either. So you aren't going to find that in this car. Pa, pa, pa. Pa, pa, pa. I love it. And from a safety systems point of view, this car has also got the adaptive cruise control. You've got rear cross traffic alert, you've got the lane keep assist, lane centering, and all of those systems. The only sucky thing about those systems is where they've put those radars and sensors in the car for that. Now, in the front of the grille, you can see those 2 big square blocks, which I despise. So yes, there's actually 2 things I don't like about this car. It's going to be the haptic feedback, as well as that those block sensors in the grille, which to me are just, they're horrible. I'm sure there could have been a much nicer place to put those in this car, down at the bottom of the grille there near the intakes or somewhere, because the front of that car could have looked so much nicer if it didn't have those big square blocks. And also, I would have loved to see an RS badge in the front, which it doesn't have. Sorry, neighborhood. Okay, that was a very quick way to get to 60 k's an hour. Now we can chill. And then onto the verdict in the form of the GDR test. Should you get it, drive it, or remove it from the list of cars that you're looking at? Now, I would definitely go ahead and say, go and get this. If you're in the market for a super SUV that makes a massive racket, that is also the most powerful RS model that they've made to date, and also, as far as I believe, holds the Nürburgring record for these super sports SUVs, then look no further than the Audi RSQ8 Performance. Now, if you do want to go and get yourself an RSQ8 or any Audi, then go check one out on changecars.co.za, South Africa's safest online platform where you can buy and sell cars in South Africa. And they've got a really cool feature called Beat My Quote. It's something that they've even trademarked, so they own it, where you bring them a quote on a new car from any dealership that's not on Change Cars' website. And not only will they match that quote, but they'll beat it too. So there really is a good reason to come to Change Cars, because you can actually save money. So thank you so much for watching this review. I hope you enjoyed it. This was a little bit shorter and more to the point than normal, because I've had a few comments saying that my videos are a little bit too long, so I'm trying something different. Now, if you have managed to get this far into the video and have some more feedback for me, please let me know. Did you enjoy this format? Is it better? Is it worse? Do you prefer me talking a little bit more? Because I know that I can tend to talk for a while because I enjoy what I do. So please let me know. And yeah, guys, so if you did enjoy it, please really drop a like below. And if you want to see more videos like this and other car reviews, then, oh, those are indicators. There we go. Then please subscribe. And until then, I'll see you in the next one.